Hello, everyone, Randy here. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 25 on Arkansas. And if you watched the last episode, we built 2 new rice paddies here. Pretty much the max size here, or real close thereabouts, everyone. They don't get much bigger than this from what I can tell. Unfortunately, I was trying to make like the whole field here but we ended up with 2 instead of 1. So, hey, yeah. We got 3 rice paddies here now, and that will hopefully be enough rice to supply our factories. Speaking of which here, I should probably check the factories here. We are probably out of rice, aren't we? Oh, we actually do have rice flour here yet. Does that mean we actually still have rice? Yeah, we're okay. So we are out of long grain rice, and we're just going to deactivate that here for now. Don't know how much of a difference that makes if you leave that running or not. I know rumor has it if you leave it running, then you get charged for it. So don't know how true that is, but we will we'll go ahead and turn it off. Speaking of turning off, I think these are already deactivated. Yes, never had enough rice to really keep them running anyway. So yeah, we are still making some rice bread yet. Oh, are we out of flour? Are we out of flour? No, we got plenty of wheat. We just don't have much wheat in the bakery for some reason. Or, sorry, flour in the bakery for some reason. I'm not sure why or what's up with that. But okay. The wheat is in the grain mill, so we should be good there. And then looks like our greenhouses are doing pretty good. Actually catching up on the Napa cabbage, believe it or not. Here if we go to the canning factory there. Yeah, it looks like all the products are actually full. Wow, I could probably actually turn off one of the greenhouses then. Oh, we'll leave them to their thing, I guess. Anyway, this episode, I want to get started on planting here. We've got quite a few fields to plant. We can't quite plant the long grain rice yet. We got 1 more month for that. What else can we plant? I believe we can plant sugar beets, right? Yes, we are in the month for sugar beets. Although this time around, I was planning on doing red beets. So I might actually have to skip 1 more month here so we can actually start some of the actual other crops. Might do some oats, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, we could do oats, Evan. So speaking of planting, Evan, the plan is to put red beets on 63 and 65, same fields we had the sugar beets on last year. We got wheat on 17. I'm not sure 18 and 19 yet. We had sorghum on last time. We can maybe do like oats or something like that on it. We also have 16 here. I was maybe thinking about putting oats on 16, so maybe we'll get started on that here this episode. And then, of course, we are working on liming on field, we'll call it 22, I guess. We got 22-1 and 22-2, I guess, here, because it is split into 2 fields here now. If I'd realized that, I probably would have maybe, like, bought field 15 then or something, maybe. Like, try to convert that entire field to a rice paddy. That way I would just had 1 field, but, oh well, this is what we ended up with. Hopefully it'll work, so. Let's head over, grab our seeder here, and get started seeding. Do I have a tractor over there? It does not look like it. I guess that 8370R is going to be our tractor of choice. I don't see any other, besides the 9RX, any other tractors on the farm at the moment here, so. So field 16 is going to make me wish I had a larger seeder here at this point. Field 16 is definitely a good-sized field here, everyone. And we got it was the horse Avatar. I was going to say, I thought it was the other one, but nope, this is the Horse Avatar 1225. And let's see, field 16, that should be the one right in front of us here. Yep. Like I said, we had soybeans on it here last year in the game. Probably should check and see if this field needs anything else or not. Obviously, we're planting oats, so we will need fertilizer, he says as he looks down and sees there's like no fertilizer in here. Okay, I should have probably filled that up before we rolled out here. Excuse me. Yeah, I think we're good to just start planting. I don't see anything here. Looks like we're good on lime. Probably should have filled up on fertilizer. We're going to make it a whole lot of nowhere on this. Get our steering assist going here as well. Might as well at least, we drove out here. Might as well use up what fertilizer we have, then we'll head back and get some more here. Okay. not be... Oh, yeah, we need to switch it around. That's why. Oats. Because this crop can be planted in March. And yes, I caught it. You turned off my steering assist as soon as we started moving. Yeah. Would be nice if Giants would kind of fix. I would consider that kind of a bug myself, because it is definitely annoying. Okay, well, that's that'll do it for the scene for now, and that's as far as we're gonna make it. Yep, then we'll just we'll call it quit. No, we'll go get some fertilizer here. I don't believe I have any sort of a tender for fertilizer here at the moment. We'll just we'll drive back to the farm here. We got a couple refill silos here we can fill from, so might as well get some seed while we're at it. And then we got to remember too, Evan, I've got a bin full of soybeans to sell here come July as well, so I want to make sure I don't forget about that. Let's see, solid fertilizer. Is that going to be enough to fill it? It's going to be close. 78%. Yeah, I really should probably have like another 1,000. I could just go probably fill from the other silo, to be honest. Having that one, I think, is just fills unlimited. Oh, how much we want to get? Oh, 5,000. That sounds good. We're not quite as critical here for money at the moment. We're doing all right, Evan. Doing all right. Seeds. Ooh, sequence. I don't know. Do we have enough seeds? We do not. To be honest, though, that is probably enough because I think we'll probably run out of fertilizer first. At least I'm assuming anyway, but we'll fill it up. Okay, there we go. Topped off on fertilizer and oats. We'll see once how far we can make it around this field here, everyone. We are running a 36-inch row spacing on this tractor here, by the way. We got it set up more for like vegetable type crops here. And just a note as well, but I do not have a corn head here for the combine. We have a planter, but no corn head. So I don't know if I want to plant any like corn or I guess what else would be sunflowers. We'll probably just stick with our grains here for now. Still not. Yep, okay. I'll wait. There we go. Trying to turn it on a little too early there. Getting impatient, you know. Oh, we're definitely no-tilling this crop in, aren't we? This field's a bit of a mess. Real life probably should have like ran some vertical tillage across this field first just to knock this crap down here a little bit. Or should have sprayed it, you know, after we were done harvesting just to make sure the weeds didn't come through. I don't know if that actually works in the game or not. I'm not sure on that one. If anyone's tried that, let me know. Like, after you're done harvesting, can you spray the field and knock the weeds down? And if you can, like, how long does that last, right? Does that last, like, until you plant next time? Or does it last only a month? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if I've ever tried that before. Everyone? Typically, at least around where I live, Evan, if a farmer's going to plant into a field like this, they usually don't have to worry about it too much, because if they're leaving it sit over winter, you're usually not going to get a whole lot of growth over winter, right? So, not typically too much of a problem. Now, if they're going from, say, like a wheat to another crop of wheat in the same field, you know, you're harvesting the wheat there in maybe, say, like July, and then you're planting it come October. You got, you know, maybe a couple month window there. You have the potential to get some weeds in there sometimes, so. But there again, even in that window, at least around where I live, I mean, you don't usually see a whole lot of it. Part of that is probably because a lot of the sprays have a bit of a residual effect to them. So just because you harvest the crop on them, it doesn't mean you're immediately going to get weeds on that field. The residual sprays on the field are probably helping to keep the weed pressure down a little bit at least. Unless, of course, you're thinking about this here. Unless, of course, you're an organic farm, in which case, good luck with the weeds. And at least around where I live here this year, everyone, it has been an incredibly dry summer. We are in, I think, like I forget, heightened drought or something like that. We're like a level 3. It depends on what scale you listen to, who you listen to, Evan, what our drought level is. But we're in a pretty severe drought here where I live. So a lot of crops are definitely hurting really bad here from that. I would imagine probably the farmers that managed to get their crops in early are probably doing a little bit better. The farmers that planted late, I'm sure, are definitely hurting because, what was it? Probably starting like May? End of May, maybe mid-May, June, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly when, Evan. But it pretty much stopped raining. And it really didn't rain a whole lot all summer. I think we got like one rain a month, maybe. That's about it. For those of you, I think I've mentioned this here. I don't know if I've mentioned this on my videos or the live streams. I mean, sometimes I forget what I mentioned where, but when it came to mowing my lawn here this summer, I think I can literally count on one hand how many times I've mowed my lawn during the summertime. And now, in the spring, I was mowing it pretty consistently there, but once summer hit, yeah, I can count on one hand, and that's about the amount of rains we probably had too, to be honest, Evan. So every time it rains out, yep, the grass perks up a little bit, gotta mow it. And I have been watering my lawn as well this summer, trying to, at least keep it alive a little bit. Don't want it to just, flat out, if it gets too dry, then your lawn dies too, and that's not great. And then you end up with weeds in your lawns, so, which I know the neighbor, my next door neighbor, is definitely finding that out. They did not water their lawn, and, be interesting to see what their lawn looks like here next year, because it looks a little rough as far as the grass and the weeds are concerned. I guess the weeds at least keep it somewhat green, right? Although I say that, it's been so dry, even the weeds really aren't doing a whole lot either. So, just again, an incredibly dry year here around where I live. Basically, where I was going with this, Lovan. Organic farmers, I think, are really having an extremely hard time with that. A lot of the organic farmers, at least around where I live, Evan, they usually tend to plant a little bit later. I don't know why that is, but they usually always plant later. And they also tend to do a lot of field prep as well. I know one of the farmers in particular, it's not uncommon to see them work their field up maybe a half a dozen times before they actually start planting. Each time they work it up, they're trying to knock down all the weeds. So I believe the idea behind what they're doing is they try to cultivate all the weeds in. Then they wait maybe, let's say, a week. Whatever weeds come back, they cultivate them in again. They're trying to knock down as many weeds as possible before they start planting. Does it help? In my opinion, probably. Well, maybe it does. Maybe it does help, but still, if you look at their fields, it's like beautiful field of weeds you got there. I know this year in one of their fields they have soybeans planted, and it's always bad when they plant soybeans because soybeans a little bit shorter crop, right? So you really cannot see the soybeans in the field. All you see is weeds. Nothing but weeds in that field. And when you got 4 or 5 foot tall weeds, yeah. Come on, why? What in the world? Stop it. There we go. I kept locking on the line. It kept turning like, no, there, bud. You're going the wrong way. Okay. I don't know if it kept locking on a different line when I turned it on, whatever. But anyway. But yeah, this organic farmer, too, one, it's not like they don't try to get rid of the weeds. The amount of devices and tools and things they try to get rid of the weeds, like, oh my goodness. They obviously cultivate a lot. And they got a couple different types of cultivators there too to hopefully try get as much of the weeds as possible. The only problem with the cultivator, everyone, the cultivator only really gets down the rows, right? You can't get in between the rows, and you can only get so close to your crop as well. I mean, you don't want to take your crop out, right? So the cultivation only does so much good. And then, of course, they're out there with the weed burners and weed zappers. And, yeah, for those of you who have not seen some of the organic farming and some of the tools they use, you should check it out. It is interesting, shall we say. I know one of the tools they use is a great big weed zapper. And when I say weed zapper, Evan, this is an electric generator. They've actually got to run this on, I think it's like a 300 horsepower tractor to run the generator. And then they just go through with basically a bar that goes I think it's just above the crop, if I remember correctly. And basically zaps any weeds that are sticking up above the crop. Here again, I mean, you folks can probably guess. Well, your weed has to be up above your soybeans in order for it to get zapped, right? If your weed's not above your soybean, well, it's not going to get zapped. So they're out there electrocuting weeds. Rather interesting way of doing it, if you ask me. And then, of course, there's the propane burner as well. Yeah, basically fighting weeds with fire. Burn them. There again, too, obviously, I don't think I have to point this out, but obviously you got to be careful with your crop, too. You start burning your crop, guess what? There goes your crop, too, so not just the weeds. Same thing goes for the zapper as well. And I believe I've mentioned this before, but I don't have the most favorable opinions when it comes to organic farming. Yeah, every time I look at organic farming, I just see a lot of weeds and a waste of good farmland. You could be growing a 200 bushel an acre corn crop on that field. Instead, we're growing probably 20 bushel an acre. So I don't know what their yields are of them, but the yield cannot be good. It's got to be absolutely horrendous. And then not to mention, too, all the weed seed you have in that. And then the farmers that have their fields around the organic farmers. Oh, my goodness. You can see where the weeds are, encroaching upon the other farmers' fields. Because, again, the organic farmer, he's got some epic level weeds in that field. And those weeds start spreading, and of course they spread into the other fields as well, the non-organic fields that are next to the organic field. So then the non-organic farmer has to deal with that. It's like, it's just, I don't know. Organic farming, not a good thing in my opinion, everyone. Not a good thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it would be nice if it worked. It'd be nice if we didn't have to use all the chemicals. I would definitely be all for it. But just my 2 cents of it, it doesn't work. So, why? Okay, well, I don't know how we got on that topic, everyone, but yes, that's kind of my thoughts on organic farming. Oh, I should mention, too, so another farmer, we got, I know there's at least 2 organic farmers here in the area. The one has a soybean field that I look at quite regularly, and then the other farmer has a couple of cornfields that I drive by quite regularly as well, and oh my goodness, that is the sorriest looking corn I have ever seen. Again, some of this has to do with because we had an incredibly, incredibly dry year. And then, of course, with organic farming, you've got all the weeds on top of that, right? So, at least on a regular field, where a farmer has sprayed the field, The corn crop, or any other crop for that matter, doesn't at least have pressure from the weeds to deal with. So the corn can at least, again, whatever other crop might be on the field, you know, corn, soybeans, whatever. At least the corn can have all the moisture to itself, more or less, right? Well, on the organic fields, Evan, again, because of the weeds, the corn has to compete with the weeds. And, well, let's just say on the 2 cornfields that I drive by on a regular basis, Evan, I'm going to guess the yield on those fields is going to be 0. I'd be surprised if they got much more than 0. There does not appear to be any ears that I can tell on that field. In fact, I don't believe it even tasseled most of it from what I could tell. That is how bad it is. And again, some of this has to do with the fact that it was an incredibly dry year, Evan. So the fact that it was dry definitely did not help. You know, if we would have got decent rains, Evan, then at least the corn and the weeds, they would have all got some to go around, right? But because of how dry it was, you know, the weeds are sucking up the moisture, and the corn is, like, not getting enough, and it's not doing anything, and... Yep. Just, yeah, not a good situation there in that case, unfortunately. Wonder what insurance does if you can insure organic fields. I would imagine you can, right? Insure an organic field, and... your yield is going to be nothing on it. Looking at this, why do I have such a darker, like lighter section here and darker here? What is up with that? Is that just me, or am I the only one noticing this? Like, lighter, darker. Trying to zoom out here. Like, even if I face this direction, I think it's lighter here, darker there. What is up with that, I wonder? Is it something to do with the planting direction? Oh, it must be. It's got to be. It's got to be what that is. Okay, never mind. I just thought something weird was going on there, but I think we're just looking at the planting direction. Anyway, let's head over to the comment section in a moment, see what you folks had to say here for last episode. Reminder again, always enjoy reading all your comments, so if you got something to say, throw it down below. Also, apologies if I'm not responding to your comments like I normally try to. Like I said, YouTube has changed the way they display comments now. I'll get a comment up at the top that's like a day old, and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and there's a comment that's 1 hour old. I'm like, what? They used to all be in like chronological order, but they're just, I don't understand the order of them. There does not seem to be any meaningful order to the comments anymore that I can tell, at least when I view the comments, everyone. So as a channel creator, I've got a page where I can go look at all the comments, and it lists all the comments on all the videos, right? And all I can say is that YouTube seems to have changed something, as they do, right? YouTube's always changing stuff. Some stuff is better, some stuff, maybe not so good, right? This change, I'm not sure what they did, but it does not seem to be quite so good. So, anyway, start off with the first comment here. Christopher was saying, good video, keep it up, baby April. Hey, thank you very much for that. Speaking of baby April, she is not joining us here, as you could probably tell in today's video. The absence of the screaming and the baby jabbering, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what you call that. Baby jabber, we'll call that. And she does like to jabber. Lots and lots and lots of it, which, hey, good for her. She really hasn't said much in the way of actual words yet. Although some of what she says does sound like words, but, yeah, she really hasn't said any actual words, I don't think. Let's see. Next comment here from Hetero. Hetero is saying, good video. You can dump the sugar beets on the ground if you have the Ropa machine. That will then pick them up, but that's kind of redundant. Oh, you know what? I think I read this comment already. This is what I was talking about. I'm like, okay, there's a couple other comments here on some different videos before it, but then I get down to this one. Like, wait a minute. How come this one? And then if I go down here, I got a comment that is 4 hours old. Don't know. Anyway, Jake was saying, nice, thank you very much for that. Oh, going back to the sugar beets there, which, yes, I could obviously dump them on the ground, and then you would have to purchase, where's our sugar beet stuff here? Beet, yeah, there we go, beet loading. You would have to, yeah, buy the ROPA, this thing basically here. Basically all this thing is a glorified loader, right? Loads sugar beets, picks them up off the ground. So nice $350,000 toy you can buy right there. Dustin was saying good video. Thank you very much for that. Ray Greggs was saying sell the equipment you can't use for more land and keep the self-propelled. I was actually planning on doing that here, by the way. I was planning on selling the tow behind sugar beet equipment, everyone. However, I want to run a head-to-head on those. And of course, we'll be using course play to harvest both the self-propelled and the tow behind. And I just want to see head-to-head who actually wins. I would think the self-propelled would still win. I would think, everyone. But I'm thinking it might be a lot closer than what we think it is. That tow behind one is wider, and as long as course play can keep it unloaded, like in theory, I mean, the wider implement should work, or should beat the smaller one, right? So I don't know, I'm kind of curious on that. So that's, again, we're going to plant, I'm going to do red beets this time. I don't think it should matter if sugar beets or red beets. I mean, they both harvest the same there as far as I know. At least hopefully they do anyway. And then we'll do the same setup we had last year in the game here for harvest. We'll put the self-propelled ROPA on field 63. And then we'll put the tow behind on 65. Now, field 65 is just a smidge smaller, I think. It's kind of hard to tell because I don't know that. It doesn't actually tell me that, like, the actual field size, does it? Oh, it does. Oh, okay. Ah, there we go. That's what we need to look at. So, field size is 17.45 acres. I should have looked at this last time. Field size, 18.48. So we got about 1 acre more here on field 63. So, yeah, be curious to see how that works out here. Obviously, once we get to the right time, everyone will get, again, planning on doing red beets on those fields. And then we'll do rice on these 3 fields, of course. And then that just leaves 19 and 18. I'm not sure what we'll put on those fields yet. Maybe we'll do soybeans on them or something like that. Blake was saying, awesome video, bro. Thank you. You saved my save game. Now, again, I mention these comments every so often, everyone, and I always like to mention them just so you folks watching, if there's anyone new that's watching here, knows that, hey, if you ever lose your save game, everyone, there is hopefully a way to get it back. Farming Simulator automatically backs up all save games, and I think it's like 10 copies or so. So you really shouldn't have an excuse to lose your save game, everyone. Plus, if you got Steam, Steam is supposed to back it up as well. And or if you have one of the other game launchers, or if you're on the console, I mean, consoles obviously are supposed to back them up as well. So you really shouldn't have an excuse to lose a save game here with Farming Simulator. And if you're not sure, at least on the PC side of things, how to use that feature, go check my video out. It's not as straightforward as it should be, if you ask me. Seems like Giants could maybe improve upon that a little bit. But hey, that's the way it's been for every single version of Farming Simulator. And as long as you're okay moving some files around, it's not really that hard. With that being said, man, looks like it is about time to wrap it up here this episode. You folks have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them down below. And till next time.